Fairbury, Illinois. Here live from the Fairbury Fairgrounds that holds home to the Fairbury Speedway. This fast quarter-mile racetrack has held home to some of the biggest racers in the world, attracting some of the biggest names in motorsports. Races such as the Modified Nationals and the Prairie Dirt Classic. Tonight, we bring you the World of Thunder, DirtFan.com UNP Modifieds. Hello and welcome, race fans, to LSRTV. Joining me here in the booth tonight and behind the cameras is Charles Wooten, myself, Brandon Kreutz, and it's going to be another good racing night. Of course, the World of Thunder, we saw these guys last week, I believe from Eldora, and these guys put on one good show. It was either Eldora or Charlotte, Charles. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Eldora.
I believe it was indeed Charlotte Motor Speedway, because we went there several times in a row. We went there for them, and then we went there for the midgets as well. So a lot of racing done at the Charlotte. Of course, the Spring Fling was there. A very popular track here on the iRacing service. However, I'm kind of partial to this track right here, just for its weird name, to be honest.
Originally called the Fairbury American Legion Speedway, now shortened up to the Fairbury Speedway, a high-banked quarter-mile, very narrow racing line oval, and these guys going to be probably ripping right around the high side most of the nights, although this track is known for multi-groove racing. You could see 2, even 3 lines come into effect here tonight, so something to look out for. These thin tire UMP Modifieds here ripping these things around here tonight. And one thing you don't want to do is make contact with that outside concrete, as it'll suck you right in.
Yeah, you definitely will. Concrete, not very forgiving. Guardrails either, so probably here and I would say Knoxville, probably the most unforgiving tracks. Of course, not having any walls at all would be ideal for some of these guys, as they can get off of it and get back on the track. We've seen that happen in the US MTS Series on a Sunday night. Happens quite often when they were there. But this track, like you said, not forgiving at all. And I noticed we do have some orange marks on the wall. If I'm not mistaken, Brandon, those are the marks to start this race. Am I correct?
That they are, and that's the marks here for the track, for the restart zone that they use. Of course, it will be up to race officials here with World of Thunder traveling series coming into this virtual racetrack here tonight, whether they use it or not. They are running through their drivers meeting right now, going through all the rules and regulations with their drivers. So these guys will be underway here very shortly for heat races, as we've only got a few moments left until heat race number 1.
Yeah, just about 2 minutes left as one car going to roll on to the track. It looks like they are set to go here almost for these last few minutes. But again, just under 2 minutes left before we get going, and we will move into heat race number 1. And I'm not sure, are they doing qualifying here? I know a lot of leagues have been changing it up here, doing pill draw style. I'm not sure if that is the style they are running here tonight, or if we are going to have a qualifying.
So it is a pill draw format here tonight. So these guys will do a random draw for their positions. And going through the heat race format, each heat race is going to be 12 laps in distance. 3 cars going to be advancing to the feature. They will have a C main and a B main. And don't ask me if they're stacked or not, because I can't quite answer that question yet. And as of right now, 15 laps in length. We'll know how many cars advance over to the feature from them. They are stacked, so it'll be 2 B mains tonight, and we'll know how many cars advance to the feature here once heat races are all complete. 6 heat races, the plan as of right now, and looking at how many cars we have, we may use every single one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I expect to use all 6 heat races, as we're monitoring a chat here as well. It sounds like somebody might not like dirt track racing, but regardless of that, again, just about 30 seconds left to go before heat racing action is underway. And again, 6 heat races, 2 B mains, and then a 60-lap A main event coming up. Typically, they run about 40, so extra few laps, but then again, this track is also extra small.
That it is just a quarter mile in distance, and These guys got to be turning some bad fast lap times around here as we see race cars out on track at the moment. They're going to finish up their practice session, and we'll head over to heat race number 1.
Yeah, checkered flag waving, and man, that flagman has got to be hurting his arm. He needs to take some lessons from Joe as to how to properly wave that flag.
Hey, what about me?
Well, there you go. We can take lessons from you, too. He's going to throw his shoulder out if he keeps waving it that hard. So he definitely needs to work on that as we'll jump right in to heat race number 1 as we'll show the grid on your screen. It is going to be CJ Howell and Joshua Hessen on row 1. Row 2 is going to be Tyler Batten and Landon Miller. Row 3 is going to be Sheldon, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name, O'Burley, something. We'll go with that. We'll get correct pronunciation on it.
Burley, I do believe it is.
Burley, that's what I was thinking. And Barry Sorensen, we know that to be Jet Sorensen in the 45 on row 3, followed by Zachary Meitzner, I believe. Sure. Matt Dickerson, Bryson Banks, and Kyle Morris going to round out heat race number 1 here for the World of Thunder. Let's look at that league logo up there. This is the World of Thunder DirtFan.com UMP Modifieds, and they are underway here out on the track. We should see that green flag come out anytime.
It's going to be about 1.5 more laps around this quarter-mile dirt oval before these guys see the green flag. They'll come through. They get the white flag, the one to green here at the flag stand this time around. It's going to be CJ Howell leading these guys to the green flag. Joshua Hessen right to his outside. Tyler Batten back there starting off row 2. Pace truck going to make its way down into the safety, the infield this time around. And we're going to go green flag racing for the first time of the night. They're on the throttle. We're underway for the first time at Fairbury.
They are indeed. Green flag is out, and already the 118 going to make a nice slide jump. Here comes the crossover by the 2. They're going to be beating and banging for the lead already, but that's going to open up the door for Tyler Batten in that 34 machine. He's got company. Yes, they're really going to have company now.
Oh, man. What a close call that was that last time down in a quarter number 2. These guys going to battle it out for the heat race win. The top 3 are going to be under a blanket. One car around to the back of the field. We stay green. Everybody keeps it straight as CJ Howell made a bonsai move there to hold on to the lead after a crossover from a slide job, and he's going to end up walking away with it out in front. Tyler Batten now holding up that second position in the 34 so far. The transfer spot's going to go to O'Burley.
O'Burley trying to hang on to it. Ooh, he smacks the outside wall of the right rear, and that fender, this technically you can't hit the right rear, as these are fendered cars on the back, open wheel in the front, and if he does that too many times, that's going to open the door for Bryson Banks, who is trying to get up there. That folds graphics, a number 51, but not quite enough at the moment, as that 105 has the last transfer spark locked away.
And that he does. O'Burl back there trying to hang on to it, but Batten gonna really he's got to drive this car around. He's got to wheel it as these guys coming up just a handful of laps to go. Again, 12 lap heat races here on the night. Your leader CJ Howell is going to be walking away with it so far. Joshua Headset back there in second. The battle for the transfer spot is on. O'Burl looks down low, not quite able to get there. Now here comes Tyler Batten trying to hang on to it. High Watt and Handsome that last time down at a corner number 4, and he's got a big Nerf bar full of the 115 machine.
Yeah, he's going to use that bar for everything it's worth. Oh, hard lick to the outside wall. That's going to cut a lot of momentum. That is not what he needed to do here with just 2 laps to go next time by. 2 laps, not a lot of time. He has got to hit his marks, dot all his T's, or I's, and cross all his T's. And that, again, is going to settle it.
And that is the 105. I do apologize of Sheldon O'Burl, and he's going to fall back just a little bit, so I do believe the top 3 are going to be pretty set where they are as long as there's no mistakes. Howell going to come around and take the white flag this time by at the stripe, and that he does. The 2 machine on rails so far as all of these guys got to keep their heads on their shoulders tonight. Everything happens real fast here. He diamonds the corner off. Your heat race winner for heat race number 1, CJ Howell. Joshua Headson, Tyler Batten get around at the top 3. They'll be your transfer positions.
And unfortunate for that 105, just couldn't quite to stay off the wall here in heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 going to be getting ready to come out on to the track here momentarily, as it looks like they are starting to take to the grid. Randy, you want to run through that for us?
It's going to be Jared Murphy there up starting inside front row. He's going to be your pole sitter for heat race number 2. Tristan Carman going to be starting in his outside of that second position. Brian Hubbard starting in the showing 4th position for me. A little odd. I'm going to say it's that 3rd position back there. Brian Johnson going to be starting 5th. 6th is going to be Josh Vinci. Noah Groves going to be starting in that 7th position. 8th, Mitch Stiles. 9th is going to be Dylan Wilson. Christopher Olsen going to be starting in that 10th spot. And starting 11th is going to be Chad Prescott.
Definitely want to keep an eye on Chad Prescott. He is somebody that I expect to see up the front, to see him starting back there. Typically, I would be shocked by that, starting at the back of the heat. But again, it was pill draw, which means it's kind of a toss-up. You know, you really flip a coin and it determines where you start. In this case, it's a big pot of pills with numbers on them, and he drew the unlucky back of this field.
Jarrett Murphy going to lead these guys with the green flag. He powers down into quarter number 1. He's got Coveted to his inside already, as that's going to be Tristan Carman trying to make something happen now. Carman going to try to stay to his inside of that Ford machine. Going to try to slide up in front. Not going to happen that time around. Brian Hubbard now maybe going to look for a position. He catches the outside concrete. And now a slide job and a crossover from your front 2 positions once again.
Yeah, this, you were trying to get there in that number 20 machine. He's almost there. The swimming pool graphics on the side of the number 20 machine. And contact's made. That's going to leave a mark on both them cars. Doesn't slow them down a whole lot, but it does a little bit. Here comes that 80 of Dylan Wilson. He's going to try to take 3rd spot away. Can't quite do it yet, but he's going to dive to the bottom and catfish it just a little bit. And he will take 3rd place, but he's still not locked it away for good.
No, he hasn't. He still scored back there in that 4th position as of last lap. He does make that bottom side work, just slow rolling all the way around this Fairbury Speedway. Now we'll come around to take that transfer position away. He'll lock himself in, or try to lock himself in into that 3rd position. So far, Tristan Carman's still trying to hang on up front. Jared Murphy going to be hanging on to that number 1 position. Looks like that high side's going to be the fast way around this place as of so far. We have the first caution flag of the night.
And it looks like it's going to be Brian Johnson as we go back to the replay here. And that 121 machine, I'm not sure exactly what happened. We're trying to find out right now. Is that right there just hits a tire and just monster trucks the other tire.
Man, oh man, those Uke tires, you got to watch out for them. They jump out at you. That's going to be a tough way. He didn't end his heat race, but he will be starting up towards the rear of this field once again. So it's going to be Jared Murphy hanging out up front as of right now. Tristan Carman going to be starting to his outside. Again, the outside known to be for the preferred line around this place so far. I do believe we've got about 2 more laps around before we go green flag racing action once again.
Yeah, you know. Oh, good.
No, never mind. The lights are still on. We do have about 2 more laps left.
You know, these guys have a lot to prove to us here from the booth standpoint anyway. These UMP modifieds, I'm wondering if they can keep up with them USMTS modifieds.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can watch the USMTS Modifieds here every Sunday at about 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's always a good show from those guys with the National Touring guys and all the real-life racers here. These UMP guys, the field stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing. They're back on the throttle. Handful of laps to go, 5 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
Yeah, and right now, Dylan Wilson hanging on up to 2nd place. He is 7 spots to the good right now as he gets by Carman. Carman trying to hang on. Wilson to the front. He's your new race leader. He secures that spot. And now he will, as he is going to try to hang on to it. They come to the line.
Oh,
and
man. Everybody keeps it straight after getting real stacked up and squirrely there down the back straight away. Jared Murphy now struggling to hang on to that first position. He's got a Dylan Wilson to his inside of that number 80 machine. Wilson trying to make that bottom side work. One of the only cars that we've seen be able to slow roll it all the way around the speedway and hold the momentum. And he's making it work so far right against that inside Uke tires. And now Jared Murphy may have more company coming up to his rear Nerf bar. Tristan Carmen trying to make that outside work up against him now.
Yeah, there were 4 of them. Carmen Elite Chassis trying to make the high side work. The top 2 have gone to the bottom right now. As you can see right there, Wilson, Murphy on the bottom, and then Carmen running the high side. Will he mimic their line? It's not going to matter. Race is over. It's going to be Wilson, Murray, and Carmen moving on to your A main. The rest will have to go through the B's here as night as heat race number 3 is getting ready to come out on to the track. We'll throw it up on the screen. It's going to be Daniel Passmore in the number 8 and Charles Silvis in the number 020 on row 1, followed by Tanner Folds and Drew Phillips row 2, Brennan Price and Landon Capps row 3. Row 4 is going to be Chris Fisher and Zane Yost in row 4, and rounding out the field in row 5 is going to be Brandon Tichler and Casey Brunson in the number 25 machine. 5 rows, 10 drivers. We're ready to fire this thing off here for heat race number 3, so we're halfway through heat races, Brandon.
Yeah, already halfway down and halfway to go through heat races as we will be once this heat race is complete. On the heat race number 3 of the 6 here tonight, and we will have 2 B mains following up these guys as well, followed by a 5-minute warm-up period, and then a 60-lap A main event here tonight. So these guys about ready to rumble once again for heat race number 3. It's going to be Daniel Passmore up there on the front row, leading these guys to the drop of the green. Charles Silva's going to be right to his outside, and I know all these drivers are going to be wanting to make some noise up towards the front of this thing, at least up within the top 3, trying to get themselves locked into the A main. 10 cars, 3 positions available. It's going to get wild again. Anybody that doesn't make it here is going to go through one of the 2 B mains that we have tonight. And my guess, it'll be about 3 cars going through the B main as well.
Yeah, a couple of cars in there, probably going to be of a stacked B main, at least one of them anyway. Obviously, Shad Prescott going to be in there. Again, you know, I think Shad's got a fast car. He always does. We're sporting that D1RT team. But just pill draw not in his favor here tonight as the green flag is out here in heat race number 3, lap 1 of 12. And we got them all over the place. Top, bottom, middle, it doesn't matter. Passmore going kind of in the middle as Silvis right down the middle. They're 3 wide, now 2 wide for second.
Almost a disaster back towards the back of the pack. It's going to be a 3-wide racing back here for the 3rd position now. Tanner Folds trying to make some noise up front, a little bit of contact in front of him. He's going to fall all the way back to that 5th position now. He was the odd one out of that group.
Yeah, he falls back as right now the battle, with a little contact made between Landon Capps and Zane Yost. Those 2 right there together, number 5 and 93. They'll see if any more contact is made between them. Tanner Folds also, like you said, trying to get into the mixes. They're going to be 3 wide. It's not for a transfer spot, but they're still 3 wide in the back as that battle for 3rd heating up as Capps takes it, but he can't hold on to it.
There was almost a near disaster there for the transfer position. They pulled the slider and they went for the crossover as Yost did, and right across the front Nerf bar, almost for the 5 up to the outside wall. They managed to walk away from it, and right now it's going to be the 93 out front of Yost. These guys going to be able to carry on clean and green, but near disaster there for the 93 and the 5 as the 5 falls back to that 4th position just outside of the transfer position, trying to hunt down that 93. All these guys trying to get themselves locked into that main event.
Yeah, 3 cars when you're looking at a 10-car field is not a lot of cars transferring, which means that we're basically going to have, those B mains are going to be almost miniature features by the time we get everybody in them. We'll see. But Passmore out front, he is on the rails right now with a huge gap. But look who's coming into the picture here. That's going to be Casey Brunson. We haven't talked about him. He's going to try to get by Landon Capps. If he can get by him and Yost, he'll be into the show locked in. But I just don't know if he has enough time with 2 to go this time by for Passmore.
Battle for that second position up here towards the front of this thing, and a little bit of contact between the 93 and the 13. The 93 is going to back off this time, going down into corner number 1. He's going to go back to riding that high side, trying to diamond the corner off as white flag is going to fly this time for your leader of Daniel Passmore out of quarter number 4. But those guys were getting pretty harsh up towards the front of this thing, and that's going to settle out this time. Now through quarter number 3 and 4, your heat race number 3 winner of the night is going to be Daniel Passmore. It's going to be Charles Silvis and Zane Yost. More contact coming across the line. That's going to be your top 3, locking themselves into the A main event.
Yeah, hard-fought battles so far already in all of these heat races. We'll see how they progress here in the near future as heat race number 4 is getting ready to come out onto the track. And that heat race will be some good drivers in there. James Grace and Darren Littoral going to be on row 1, followed by Isaac Kimmerer, I believe. Kimmerer? Well, I believe that's correct. Jason McBride on row 2. Row 3, the guy that has had some hard luck in races, Shane James, and typically the number 3 is going to be in the 23, and I stand corrected. There's Jet Sorensen, so we have Jet and Barry Sorensen, so I correct myself earlier when I said that was probably Jet Sorensen. Followed by Trevor Fitz, Austin Dakar, Jacob Fields, and Trevor Bitterling in the rounding out that field. You know, Brandon, the back of that field is pretty stacked right there.
Yeah, Charles, the back of that field is real stacked as all of these guys going to try to make their way up towards the front of this thing. Again, on a heat race number 4 for the night. The pace car is already making its way off into the safety of the infield, down the back straightaway. James Grace got to be your control car. They're on the throttle. Green flag is in the air once again. Quite a bit of a stack up towards the back of that thing. Your second placement pushed all the way up to the outside concrete.
They did, as that's going to be Isaac Kimmer trying to hang on to it in that number 95. Shane James is sporting the number 3 on his car, number 23 being on the scoring tower, as he's going to try to get that Busch Light to victory lane. He'd love to celebrate with some Busch Light, but just hasn't had the luck right now. But he's hanging on to second, and he may have something for James Grace in that 269 machine.
Super Shane James trying to make his way up to the second position, or he is up in the second, now fighting for the lead. He's going to try to sneak his way up to the outside as he's got company below him once again. And one car up to the outside, Wall back behind them. No caution yet. It's going to be a 3 wide battle for the lead off of turn 2 this time around.
It is indeed, and that's none other than Trevor Fitz in the number 19 or 28 machine as they're showing on the thing, and he's going to take the lead. He is 6 spots to the good base. Basically starting at the back of this field, and he has worked his way up to the front. I told you to keep an eye out for that 28 in the D1RT guys. He has that Diotti Racing Innovations on the side of that car as well. What a battle, but the battle for third is 4 wide almost.
Nearly 4 wide. It was 3 wide there, and as it still is this time off of quarter number 4, Shane James made contact with the outside wall just a couple of laps ago. Now trying to fight his way back into that transfer position as he does get around James Grace in the 269. This was your pole sitter for heat race number 4, now falling all the way back to that 5th position now.
Yeah, he is indeed, as Jacob Fields, that 007 machine's got company from Shane James, and if they're not careful, if Fitz isn't careful, he may have company from both of them. Those are 3 powerhouse drivers, 1, 2, and 3, as we're on lap 9 of 12 right now. I think Fields might have something for Fitz if he can catch him.
3 laps to go as the field powers down into quarter number 1, now down the back straightaway. Trevor Fitz still holding strong. Jacob Fields back there as well in that 007. Shane James trying to find a way around the outside now, as he's got to be careful. He's got himself into a locked-in position. He doesn't want to do anything to mess that up. Now Shane dives to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to duck underneath Fields. It's going to be a drag race at a quarter number 1 for the second position. White flag is in the air. the 3 machine all the way down against those Uke tires on the inside. That's where he's going to try to hang. It's going to be your heat race winner, Trevor Fitz, coming across the line in first, Jacob Fields in second, and Shane James not able to hold on to that transfer position. It's going to be Bitterling going to be taking that position away. Now on to heat race number 5.
Here is number 5 up on your screen. We'll see who's in it. Eric Scalf in it alongside Scott Holt in the number 3 machine. Row 2 behind them is going to be Dion Kovar and Bryce Nichols, followed by Todd Hook and Brian Thompson, Jeffrey Bradshaw, and Chris Malone. And rounding out the field here in heat race number 5 going to be Cody Heron and Craig Adamczak are going to be your 10 cars here in heat race number 5. Again, this is, of course, almost rounding out your heat races. We still have one more after this. I'm really interested to see who's all going to be in that B main 1 and B main 2.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that there's going to be some big names in the B mains already. We saw Shane James non-qualifier, a couple other big names back there in the previous heat races, but it's going to be interesting for sure. The iRacing official Chevy Silverado pace truck makes its way down into the infield this time around. It's going to be Eric Scalf leading these guys to the drop of the green. He's on the throttle. Green flag is in the air. Once again, heat race number 5 underway. The field powers down out of turn 2. This time around, already a caution flag on the speedway.
Quickly coming out as we go back to take a look. And I believe it's going to be Jeffrey Bradshaw and Scott Holt that are involved in this. So we'll take a look. And there goes the 61 around. And then, of course, the 3 of Holt just really nowhere to go as he was able to get into him there right in the nose. Both of them get it around, though. And we go back to live. That's a shame there for that 3 machine. I see a chicken pit on there. I'm not sure what a chicken pit is, but it sounds like some good food.
That it does, and well, Cody Heron had a little bit to do there with that contact as well. Not on purpose, but the field's all stormed down into corner number 1 and just nowhere for those guys to go. So a quick caution on the speedway already will bring these guys back to a crawl. Is Eric Scalf still going to be in that first position? This is what I like to call an original restart. The field's still in the original starting positions except for the caution cars. It's going to be a single file restart here. Eric Scalf now back on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
And we are racing once again. And so we'll go ahead and bring your lineup there on the screen, or your, I guess not lineup, but the current running order. There we go. It's Scout out front. Nicholas hanging on to second, but the battle for second is on. As here comes that 44 machine. He's going to try to make quick work of that 181 and the 64, but they better watch out because Todd Hook's back there and that 23 machine, and he's looking mighty hungry for a transfer spot.
That he does, and Bryce Nichols already up to that second position there in the 64 machine. Here comes Brian Thompson in the 44, fighting down on the low side. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway now for the transfer position, as Thompson manages to hang on to it for right now. That's the 181 of Cover, going to be up on the high side.
Cover trying everything he can, that 181 machine. These guys keep the battle on. That's allowing Todd Hook to manage his way in there in that 23 machine. The 181 of Cover's got to be careful. If he gets into that wall just one time, that's probably going to allow Hook to get by. As right now, the battle is on. Scalf still out front, but Thompson really in a battle. Here come, they're both catching that 64.
This is 4 cars under a blanket. Now it's going to be 3, almost 4 wide. A little bit of contacts made between all 3 of those drivers that last time out of corner number 4. Now it's going to be Kovar falling back all the way into that 5th position. As it happens that quickly, the 44 trying to fight down on the low side once again. And it's going to be 3 wide once again, this time out of turn 2.
Yeah, and I would be scared right now if I'm Brian Johnson in that 44 machine, the 55 or 23 of Todd Hook having some connection issues. He was literally inside his car at some point during that race, so it's got to be scary there, that blinking issue. But like you said, 4 cars under a blanket right now. The 44 gets contact between him and the 23, and both of them go around.
Caution flag will fly now. The 44 getting together with a couple other guys back there as he holds it back straight, but that was a big moment. They were all fighting for that transfer position, and looked to be him and the 23 making contact that last time out of corner number 4, and around he goes, and everybody else managing to avoid barely. But that'll bring out the second caution flag of heat race number 5.
Yeah, the cautions are starting to build up here. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it over and over again, whether it's sim racing or it is a virtual racing like tonight. The further you get into a race program, and I would expect it to amplify even more, Brandon, and I believe you probably do too. Once we get to those B mains, these guys realize, you know, if they're 4th, 5th right now, they realize I need to get to the front. They're going to make aggressive moves. You get into the B main, say you're taking 3, they're going to amplify that aggression just a little bit more, so we're about ready to take the green again.
Eric Scalf, he's on the throttle. Green flag is in the air once again. White flag is in the air now. No, it's not. 2 laps to go. I do apologize. It's going to be white flag this time around at the line. Scalf trying to hang on to it. Bryce Nichols back there in that 2nd position, and the 181 manages to come up into the 3rd and final transfer position. He's got covered at his inside now, this time through corners number 3 and 4. It's going to be fighting for down low. Not going to be able to get it. Diane Cobra going to come away with that 3rd and final transfer position. Eric Scalf going to come home with a heat race win.
He is indeed. So 3 more drivers locked into your 60-lap A main event. As you know what time it is, Brandon. It is time for the 6th and final heat race of the night. You want to run through that starting grid for us?
Heat race number 6, the final heat race of the night. It's going to be Chad Combs starting on pole, front row inside, and next to him on the outside of that 2nd position is going to be Tanner Tomasi. Richie Yost is going to be starting in that 3rd position. Joe McLaughlin going to be in that 4th spot. Clyde Dunn starting 5th. Chase McDermott going to be in that 6th position. And Devin Lockridge starting 7th. 8th is going to be Matt Martin. Dave Hartman going to be starting in that 9th position, and Logan York going to be starting in that 10th. It's going to round out a 10-car starting field for heat race number 6.
Yeah, what a field here. What a night of racing in general it's been thus far. 6 heat races fixing to be in the books. You know, it goes to show you just how quickly you can knock out some racing. And, you know, I'm glad it goes so fast, but at the same time, I could be at my local track till 3 a.m. and I just wouldn't care just to be there right now.
Absolutely correct. As Chad Combs brings these guys to the green flag, he'll get the jump at a corner number 1, and now storming down at a corner number 2 down the back straightaway. Tanner Tomasi now in a fight for that 3rd position. He's got the 29 of Yost to his inside now. Those guys are going to be side by side for position. 1 car around to the back. No caution flag flies yet. We'll hope that he gets it straightened out by the time the field comes around. All of these guys fighting for position. Now a potential battle for the lead. Tanner Tomasi going to fight to the inside of Combs, to the inside now. This time down to the corner number 2. Not quite able to get there. Not quite able to hold the momentum. Here comes Yost back to the outside.
Yeah, Yost trying to get by Tomasi here, seeing if he can make it work. Meanwhile, Combs quite happy in that D1RT and number 09 machine is weird. We have 2 09s out there, but only one of them actually being scored as 09, and that is your race leader. But he's got company from Richie Yost now, trying to make something happen. Yost saying, I want to the front. I want a good starting position. He's going to dive it down to the bottom. Not quite enough. He almost gets to the back bumper. As right now, that 09 of Combs out front leading this thing. But here comes Yost. He's going to take it to the outside, and he may have it here this time by the line.
Not content just being locked in, these guys want to have something to say for the feature race. More contact for the race lead. That's time at corner number 2. Now they power down into turn 3 and down the front straightaway. New race leader at the line. It's going to be the 29. Chad Combs going to fall back to that second position now. Richie Yo's going to hold your leader. Tanner Tomasi hanging back there in the shadows right now, just trying to ride around to that third position. It's going to be 4 laps to go with the stripe this time. They're going to be battling it out even still this time. It's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Combs and Yost right now battling this out. Meanwhile, Tanner Tomasi in that 09 machine behind him. He's really hoping to capitalize off this. He comes into the picture. He has second right now as they're going to freight train the 09 of Combs. Almost contact, but they stay clear of each other as Combs from first to third in just 3 laps.
Tanner Tomasi now trying to have a way around for the lead. Is just 2 laps to go, 1.5 down the back straightaway. Tomasi trying to get up to that race leader. Richie Yost holding strong. No white flag is in the air this time around. The 29 machine high, wide, and handsome as all 3 of these guys are in the last portion of this race. Now diving it all the way down to the bottom of 09. Not quite able to get there. Heat race number 6 winner is going to be Richie Yost, Tanner Tomasi in second, and Chad Combs is going to round out your third and final transfer position. And as we've said that, we're going to go into B-Main racing action. 2 versus the 2 B-Mains coming up here next as Charles give you your starting lineup.
B-Main action coming on to the track, and I'm actually, this is B-Main 1. Now, there we go. Confused myself there for a minute, which isn't easy, or isn't hard to do, by the way. On the row 1, it's going to be Sheldon O'Brien, I believe yeah, we'll get that right here in a minute. O'Brien. On his outside of him is going to be Landon Capps, followed by Chris Malone and Bryson Banks. 5 and 6 are going to be Casey Brunson and Craig Adamsack. 7th and 8th is going to be Zachary Meitzner and Chris Fisher. 9th and 10th are going to be Cody Heron and Matt Dickerson. 11th and 12th going to be Brennan Price and Jeffrey Bradshaw. And we'll see, we're going to have a huge field here. 13th and 14th going to be Kyle Morris and Tanner Folds. 15th, 16th going to be Brian Thompson and Barry Sorensen. 17th and 18th going to be Brandon Titchler and Todd Hook. Landon Milner and Drew Phillips going to be 19th and 20th. And rounding out your field here for B-Main 1 is going to be Scott Holt in that number 3 machine. A huge field here for B-Main number 1.
Race fans, it's 21 cars fighting for 3 positions. The first of 2 B-Mains, each consisted of 20 or 21 cars. Unbelievable field and some powerhouse of names already starting in this first B-Main. They're going to get one more time around, or about a half a time around this time. The pace truck makes its way down into the safety of the infield, down the back straightaway. It's going to be Earl Burrell leading these guys to the green flag this time. He's on the throttle. Green flag is in the air. B-Main number 1.
That lap 1 of 15 is underway. Again, basically a miniature A-Main is what you're looking at right here, as it's going to be Sheldon out front in that 105 machine, but the battle for second is underway. Right now, you've got several cars all bunched together. You got the 51, the 10, the 25, actually 29 is what is being scored as now. Caution is going to come out.
Yeah, caution flag flies for the first time of the night here already, and looks like it was a stack up there going into the corner. Trying to see which cars were involved, and it looked like it was going to be Todd Hook. That 23 machine. Clipping a uke tire down to the inside of the racetrack, and everybody managing to avoid no contact, no harm, no foul, except that 23 machine is going to be tail end of the field in a 20-car field off this restart.
It's going to be a crazy night of racing here, going through B Main 1 and B Main 2. And you know, I pointed out earlier that they were stacked B Mains. B Main 1, I don't think is nearly as stacked as B Main 2 is going to be. I can't wait to get to that one, of course, before we get to the A Main. But the green flag is back out, and we are racing. And looks like we're showing caution flag once again. And it looks like possibly for Jeffrey Bradshaw this time.
It's going to be Matt Dixon, actually. Stopped there down at a turn 4. He was the car to go around off the restart. Things got a little bit stacked up. One car up to the outside wall in front of him, that was the 10. And he unfortunately got the hard end there on that accident, as the car behind him making contact and sending him around.
Oh.
So tough break there for Matt Dixon.
That is definitely unfortunate for him. We do have already, we're getting reports in from the scoring towers. I'm so fast, like a lightning cheetah, that I ran down there and got this for us, Brandon. You didn't even miss me. Your top 6 starting grid for your A main are going to be CJ Howe and Daniel Passmore, row 1, Trevor Fitz and Eric Scalf on row 2, and Richie Yost and Dylan Wilson are going to be on row 3. It's the green flag comes back out here for B main number 1.
Oh man, they're stacking up for that 4th position back there. I thought that was going to be big time issues for a lot of those guys, as they're still making a bunch of contact. The 25 machine getting involved. Unbelievably 4 wide at a turn 4. Caution flag flies, not for the cars that we thought it was going to be. It's further back in the fields. Unbelievable racing here in the B main number 1 so far. Trying to get a gist of who this was to bring out the caution.
Look like Landon Miller's who we're seeing here in the 110 machine.
That it was, and he had a lot of help going around down in turn number 3. The 44 right behind him just looked like he was trying to get into the corner entry, just trying to roll it in, and made a little bit of contact with the rear quarter panel of the 110 machine and sends him around. He manages to straighten it back out, but it was just enough to bring out that caution flag, and he'll be starting tail end of the field.
And yeah, the 44 making contact, and we're trying to get a word in with race control here, as I'm just curious here. We've got that radio communication with them. The 44, abruptly after that incident happened, he pulled it directly into the infield. I'm not sure if that was, you know, on his own accord. He did it as the green flag comes back out, or if he was told to park it due to connection issues.
Yeah, unsure, but green flag is back in the air. It's going to be a fight for the lead, as the top 3 not walking away as easily, and caution flag flies once again. That's going to be a stack up. I see Barry Sorensen involved, along with a couple of others. I believe that was Tanner Folds, the first car to go around, and that it was. And just another chain reaction. The 10 machine made contact with the 93, I believe that was.
Several cars involved, and again, we've had a lot more aggression here in this one, even than I expected, to be honest. You know, a wise man once told me that thou must finish the race before you can finish first. And I think some of these drivers may learn that lesson here. You got to finish this race in order to finish up front.
Yeah, that man sounds pretty wise. Sheldon O'Burl going to be up here at the front of this thing even still. So that 105 machine trying to push through to the game main, and of course can't quite catch a break as far as cautions go. It's going to be a single file restart once again. Hopefully these guys can get it all sorted out. Pace truck makes its way down into the safety of the infield once again, this time down the back straightaway. O'Burl, Caps, Banks, going to be your top 3 transfer positions as of right now. Green flag is back in the air. That 105 machine powers down into corner number 1, now powers off. He's got company from the 521 back there. That's Landon Caps right on his tail, as these guys are all trying to make something happen. Now Bryson Banks trying to make some noise up there for the 2nd position. He loses a little bit of momentum up through corners number 1 and 2.
He does indeed, as they're making contact, and we got one into the wall. That is going to be Greg Adams. That caution now for the 97 as he was up into the concrete. As we go back and take a look, oh, these drivers not only beating each other up, they're trying to take down the wall as well.
Yeah, and I just think Craig thought he was clear coming out of turn 2 that last time around, and he wasn't, and that turned him about head on to the outside wall, and he backs it up into the concrete down through corners number 3 and 4, and a couple other cars sliding to avoid, but no further contact from anybody else.
Yeah, that is good news, because the way he was stopped on the track, if somebody hadn't seen him, that would have been disastrous. His car probably would have been upside down, turtle shelling it around the track, trying to flop back over. Just wouldn't happen. Well, that is definitely good news for him. We are 9 laps in. We've completed 8 laps, I do believe, at this point. As we'll be starting a lap number 9 when we take the green. Not, yeah, we're guys right about at the halfway point.
It's gonna be 8 laps in the books, or 7 laps in the books now, currently on lap 8. Pace truck is in once again. It's going to be O'Burl in the 105 machine on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. These guys hoping we can maybe take some laps off. It is a very big field, and everybody fighting for just 3 positions to get themselves locked into the A-main event so far. The 105 holds strong out in front of this thing so far. Landon Caps back there right behind him in his tire tracks. Now a battle for the transfer position as it's going to be Brunson fighting to the inside. Contact down the back, straight away up to the outside wall. Not going to get there. The 51's going to hang on to it as caution flag is in the air.
We'll take a look here and see. It looks like Kobe
Oh,
Harris.
the 92. The 92 went up and over down into corner number 3. See what happens, and the same thing that happened to Adamczak. I think he thought it was clear, or he pushed up the racetrack a little bit up to the outside wall, and that was enough to send him up and over in a barrel roll almost up to the outside catch fence down into corner number 3.
Yeah, we'll watch the full replay here. And right there, as we will not show too much of this car. We'll go to live. We will not be going on board for that one, as possibly some inappropriate content on the inside of that car.
So I do believe time is running short. Officials may cut this race short. Green flag is back in the air. The 105 of O'Burl going to be trying to ride this thing out.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to book it, as you're right. Looking here at the timing, they got up 20 seconds to get around this track for another about 4 or 5 laps. I don't think it's going to happen no matter how fast they are. So we're going to watch that transfer spot, as it's what's under fire right now, as they have 5 seconds left to go. And right now it is Brunson that has it.
That it is, and he's going to walk away with that transfer position after contact. But your 2 guys up out front, it's going to be 2 to go in the books this time. Officials may say white flag.
Checker flag. Checker flag.
That was the checkered flag. So officials were cutting it short, as I apologize. I could not see any of that information on my end. But it will be O'Burl coming home in that first position. Caps and Brunson going to be your top 2 or top 3. You're rounding out the transferred cars into the A-main events.
Well, you know, Brandon, we talked about it being a rowdy night. I expected this B-main to be a little bit more rowdier than that one, but, you know, I hope we don't get much more rowdier. We actually did not even finish that race, technically. We ran it out of time, so if that's how the B-main's going, how in the world is this A-main going to go here tonight?
Speaking of B mains, we're on to B main number 2. Shad Prescott going to be your pole sitter. Starting inside front row, Shane James, another heavy hitter, starting right outside of him. Clyde Dunn, Brian Hubbard going to be in row 2. Starting in that 5th position is going to be Austin Carr. Matt Martin starting 6th. Brian Johnson in 7th. 8th is going to be James Grace. Devin Lockridge is going to be 9th. 10th is going to be Josh Fincy. Jason McBride starting 11th. Dave Hartman in 12th. Noah Groves 13th. 14th is going to be Darren Literal. Joe McLaughlin starting in that 15th position. Christopher Olsen going to be in 16th. Jet Sorensen in 17th. 18th is going to be Logan Rourke, I apologize. Mitch Stiles in 19th. 20th is going to be Isaac Kimmerer. And Chase McDermott going to be rounding out the 21-car field.
And Chase McDermott, I don't remember seeing him in a heat race earlier, so he may have not been in a heat race and coming in here at the last minute for your B main number 2. So if we can see him work through this field, that'd be kind of interesting.
Absolutely it would, but unfortunately he did not make the call for the B main event, so that will not happen. But it was always good to hope, Charles.
Yeah, well, we have hope. This is what gets us through these days. But, yeah, you're right. Logan Rourke, Dave Hartman, and Chase McDermott not going to make the call. We take the green flag here in what should be an event-filled B main number 2. If it's anything like B main number 1, it's Shane James already taking second place from that 88 machine of Clyde Dunn.
Shad Prescott walks away out front. Now Shane James under fire to his inside. He says, no, not today. Not going to make it happen. Clyde Dunn falls back, and that'll be the end of the battle for third as these guys all over the place. A gaggle of race cars back around mid-pack. Caution flag flies.
Caution already. Let's go back. Possibly Austin Carr
Isaac Kilmer going to be involved in that one. I see the 21 machine involved, McLaughlin, and I see Noah Graves involved in that as well. No, Joe McLaughlin was not involved. I apologize. It was Noah Groves involved, and I think one of those things, just not realizing they had a race car above them or a slower car above them, and just not quite able to clear, and up to the outside wall he goes, almost going up and over, and comes in the 95 and the 54 making hard contact as well.
Well, definitely not the way these guys wanted to get this thing started. Meanwhile, though, I want to point out, while we're under caution here, that I stand corrected. I thought Shane James was being scored as your race leader. He's not. He is in second, as I believe that is Shad Prescott that is ahead of him in that M14 machine. You know, Brandon, I have to ask the question, try not to jinx him. Can Shane James make his way into this feature? He has just not had the luck to do it. I really hope his luck turns around here tonight.
He's sitting in a pretty good position right now. He's going to take it right around the high side of this racetrack, trying to hang on to that second position. Now he may have company back behind him. He's able to walk away for now. Clyde Dunn trying to have something to say, just trying to hang on to that position as they go caution once again.
Caution being the theme here, as I believe Brian Johnson involved in this one. We'll look back to that 121. He's got the 20 battling with him. We'll see if that is the case, as the 121 again. That's
second verse, same as the first for Brian Johnson. He found that inside Uke tire, the same one that he got in his heat race, by the way. And that'll send him around and bring out the caution flag once again.
Yeah, it definitely did. I thought I saw him out there in between now and his heat race trying to push that tire down a little bit. He probably is going to need it to be lowered just a little bit more, as it looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be really hard for him to make it into that A main tonight.
As it's going to be hard for a lot of these guys to get into the main event. There's a lot of heavy competition. Chad Prescott still going to be your control car for this restart. Shane James to his outside. Double file restart. Green flag is back in the air. We're underway. Already 3 wide for that second position. These guys almost pushing it 4 wide this time out of turn 2.
Shane James holding on to the spot right now, but he has got company. And here comes Martin Dunn and Hubert trying to make their way into it.
Oh, they're wrecking back there further in the field. No caution yet, but there was a cluster of cars down at the bottom of the racetrack. Stopped. Somehow, everybody gathers it back up. We stay green. Chad Prescott holding the lead.
Yeah, it's Prescott's out front, and he has a sizable lead right now. Well, I say sizable, it's not huge. As Shane James trying to overcome that jinx he has or something that just doesn't let him make it into big events like this. Not a big payout, but a lot of cars as B-Main number 2 is underway. And Clyde Dunn trying to work on Matt Martin right now, but is losing ground as he is getting into the outside wall several times here in that 88 machine.
Matt Martin sitting in a pretty good position right now. These guys coming around to take 6 laps to go this next time across the stripe. Clyde Dunn, he was up at a transfer spot. Now he's got company to lose 1 more. As Hubbard's going to be coming up right to his rear nerf bar now as he may have company. Hubbard nowhere to go with that momentum quite yet. Now he's going to take it down low. He's going to pull the slide job in the crossover from the 88. He's going to say, no, not today. Is contact, and he puts Hubbard up to the outside wall.
Yeah, he's into the outside wall he goes, and those two are going to keep battling it out as now the 88 is going to put himself into the outside wall and we'll get back to what just happened on the track.
That's questionable for me. It was nothing intentional, but yeah, he just wasn't going to clear that slide job either way. He didn't dive it down into the corner deep enough, and I think by the time he realized that the 88 was already up to the outside wall, and that'll send him around. That's a tough break for Clyde Dunn with that 88 crew, but I don't know about that move. I just don't think he got into the corner deep enough, and by the time he realized it was a little bit too late as the momentum was carrying up the racetrack.
Yeah, and I'm going to be the devil's advocate for you here, Brandon. I think it was, I will say he was out there to wreck anyone, but I think he was out there knowing maybe he wasn't 100% clear. I think it was to send a message. Obviously, just like 2 laps before that, the 88 had gave him a little shot there into the wall. So I'm with you. I don't think he was out there to wreck him, but I think he was out there to send a message that he didn't like that move earlier.
No, I imagine not. But obviously, green flag back out into the air. Chad Prescott coming around. White flag is in the air this time. Or 2 to go, I'm sorry. 2 to go is being displayed. Shane James right up to the rear of it. Bars the 14 got the outside concrete. Is there anything that 3 machine can do to win B-Main number 2? White flag is in the air. The 14 machine trying to power down the back straightaway. Now these are a 2-car breakaway out front. James going to bring it down to the bottom of the speedway this time around. Nothing for him. Chad Prescott, your heat race winner, your B-Main number 2 winner. Shane James in second, and Brian Hubbard going to get himself locked in that 3rd and final transfer position. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are going to go into a quick 5-minute warm-up. We're going to step away to rest our voices. We'll be right back here live on LSRTV. Stick around.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Welcome back, race fans, live to LSRTV. You're watching the World of Thunder, DirtFan.com, UMP Modifieds. And I do believe it's that time. It's time for your A-Main starting lineup. Starting on pole, it's going to be the number 2 machine, front row inside, CJ Howell. Coming up for your pole sitter for the night, Dylan Wilson going to be starting at his outside. Daniel Passmore starting in that 3rd position. Trevor Fitz starting 4th in that 19 machine. Eric Scout starting 5th. Richie Yost going to be starting in that 6th position. Joshua Hesed going to be starting 7th. 8th position is going to go to Jared Murphy. Charles Silva starting 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Jacob Fields. Starting in the 11th position is going to be Bryce Nichols. Sandra Tomasi starting 12th. 13th is going to be Tyler Batten. Tristan Carman starting 14th. 15th going to be Shane Yost. Trevor Bitterling going to be starting in that 16th position. Diane Cover starting 17th. 18th is going to go to Chad Combs. 19th position is going to go to Sheldon O'Burrell. 20th is going to be Shad Prescott. That'll round out your top 20. 21st is going to go to Landon Camp. Shane James starting 22nd. 23rd is going to be Casey Brunsman. And rounding out the field in 24th is going to be Matt Martin. 24 cars fired up and ready to go here tonight at Fairbury Speedway. You're watching it here live at LSR TV, the World of Thunder, DirtFan.com, UMP Modifieds.
Well, it's been a great race so far, Brandon. I expect to see even more great racing action as A-Main underway. And we're seeing here, we're getting word from race control Joshua Hessen to start pole, and the 44 we saw in that incident earlier, yes indeed, he was asked to park it due to connection issues.
Yeah, so tough break for your poles that are not making the call out here tonight. So it will be Hessen starting on the front row. So these guys gonna kind of crisscross the fields here. And race fans, they have just been given the signal to show you the most epic sight in motorsports. They line it up down the back straightaway. Race fans, before they pull the belts tight one more time, before they have to clear their visors of the clay and the grime, before they go out and battle side by side, we bring you the mighty modifieds 4 wide, the high octane, high horsepower steel machines of pure power. Race fans, I give you the World of Thunder DirtFan.com UMP modifieds.
What a sight, Brandon. 4 wide salute to the fans. That is for everybody out there watching here tonight. There is a lot of them tuning in here. And again, this is for the fans, whether it's sim, real life, go-karts, whatever it is. If they go 3 and 4 wide, it's for the fans that come out to watch these guys week in and week out as they're going to get sorted back into their normal position. But Brandon, it doesn't matter, sim or real, it's a good sight to see.
Absolutely it is. So "60 laps the distance." Race fans, pull your seatbelts tight. It's about to get going. They get the white flag at the stand this time around. Race officials were trying to get these guys going that last time around. Not going to make it happen. Joshua Hessen going to be on the front row. Now it's time to pull your belts tight one more time. Hang on to your hats. The mighty modifieds are ready to rumble. It's showtime.
Showtime is underway, and here you see already a battle for the lead going on. We got people going around the back. Caution is out. Dixon Kovar going to be involved. Kovar going to be involved in this one with Landon Caps, it looks like. So we'll quickly go to the LSRTV replay and see just what happened.
And it looked like the field, they were 3 wide heading down into corner number 3 there, and they all kind of stacked up, and that'll leave 2 cars going around. Hard on the binders was Kovar back there.
Quickly coming out with the caution, Brandon. We may see a repeat of those B mains. Hopefully we don't. Love to see some green flag racing. Of course, we will complete this under green. The caution lap's not counting, but still, we don't want to see it, and neither do these drivers. They do not want to see that yellow flag visiting the Banana Republic here too much tonight.
Absolutely agreed, but Pace Truck makes its way down into the safety of the infield once again. Joshua Hessen still out front, single file, restart, green flag is back in the air.
And green flag in the air, single file, because it was a quick caution there, and that is bad news if you're some of these guys. But here comes Trevor Fitz to the inside of Passmore. He's going to pass Passmore to take second place away. They're battling for 4th right now as well, Brandon.
Passmore trying to fight for positions right now, battling up on the high side. Around goes the 29. They stack up somehow. Everybody keeping it straight, and we stay green flag racing once again. And one car I see starting to make his way up through the field. I see that 80 machine down on that low side. Dylan Wilson now up into the Uke tire. Somehow manages to keep it straight once again. A lot of close calls for these drivers out here so far. The 80 machine, the only driver that I'm seeing is able to gain ground running the low side of the speedway. He found a little bit of bite down there, now up to that 3rd position.
Yeah, he's fighting
Caution
a
flag
lot
flies.
again. You're right. Looks like Tyler Batten for this time will go back and take again a look here for the second caution of the night. And he's down low by the 105 machine. And I have a feeling, yes, that same tire, Brandon, has caught so many drivers here tonight.
Yeah, it was very tough there for Tyler Batten. Yeah, that same tire. Seems like every driver is hitting it, and tough break for a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I'm wondering here shortly if they're going to opt to maybe go out with the one of the safety trucks there that's got a grill on the front and possibly push that tire down just, you know, an inch or two. If that's all these drivers want, just push that tire down just an inch or two. Give us room. We're hitting it. We don't like that. So
A couple of these guys have hit it by more than just an inch here, Charles, so they may need a little bit more than that. But with that being said, the field back in the hands of Hessen, and he's back on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air. They power down into turn one. Hessen trying to fight for lead down on that low side. He's got company up top. Here comes Trevor Fitz up on the outside line.
And Trevor Fitz going to make sure they know who's there as Richie Yost taking on the second, but not by much. Here comes Fields and Hessen there as that's a 3-car battle, making a 4-car battle as out of nowhere here comes Tanner Tomasi. He's going to try to throw his hat into this mix as well, as we got a 4-car battle for second position.
Tanner Tomasi, where did he come from? He's trying to break his way up into the top 5 now. Well, he broke his way up to the top 5, trying to battle up into the top 3 position now. He's going to be in a side-by-side battle with the 118 below him, and he's going to make it clear the 118 pushes, put him in the P4 position.
Yeah, he is 8+ spots right now, 7 for Jacob Fields. Well, these guys started at the back. They're working their way to the front. And one that I want to talk about right now is we'll get back to him, Shad Prescott, who's right in the mix of things. He's 12 spots to the good right now as he's working his way to the front 1 spot at a time.
And that he is. And Jacob Fields back there trying to do the same as he pulls a big slider there now out of turn 4. The crossover from the 29 that time around. Richie Yost not having anything of it. He does the same move, and now the crossover from Fields down low.
Yeah, Fields
gonna do slide job central, and he's gonna clear, and not quite able to do anything was Yost down on the low side that time. Almost contact between those 2 drivers.
And we about saw a little bit of pink rubbed off on that black and yellow and red D1RT machine as those 2 are battling. Here comes Tanner Tomasi in the 09 machine. He's gonna try to sneak up there, look a little black suited ninja, whatever you want to call them, where their outfits they wear. Regardless of that, he's trying to work his way up there. I don't even know what ninja suits they call, but anyway, he is trying to get there. He is right to the back bumper, to that back fender of that 29 of Yost.
And that he is, as Tomasi trying to fight up into the top 3 now. We know he has that speed in the race machine underneath him. As the 29 pushes a little bit nowhere for the 09 to go back behind him. Trying to maybe find another way around, but it's a high-line racetrack as of tonight. The 09 gonna go down. He's gonna pull the slide job, not quite able to clear. He loses a ton of momentum that time out of turn 2. Now he's got company below him. That's gonna be Zanios down below him.
Yeah, he's like a Tomasi. He is an LSRTV driver. We call him Tanner Tamale all the time. It's funny. He's like a Yost sandwich right now in the middle of those 2. We'll see how it works out for him. He's taking the high side as Shad Prescott, 13 spots to the good. He's coming up on these guys in a hurry. Him and Jarrett Murphy in that 25 machine. Both of them possibly going to be running down those guys in the next couple of laps.
Tanner Tomasi pulling the slide job to get around for that 3rd position. Around goes the 29. Caution flag is in the air. 29 goes around. That's Richie Yost. He was up front all night so far, and he caught contact, big-time contact. Monster truck and that Uke tire down at the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, and before that, as we watch in the replay, he also had contact from Zane Yost to his back bumper, which is what got him in the position to get to that tire. So I'm not sure, I cannot clarify if those two are related. Again, exact same last name, maybe Race Control can get clarification on that, but if those two are related, Brandon, and one of them gave a back bumper or a front bumper to the back bumper of the other one, I would not want to be at that family dinner on Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely. So tough break for Richie Yost back there, as he's going to be all the way back there towards the tail of the field now. So real tough break there. Pace truck going to be making its way down into the safety of the infield this time. Trevor Fitz going to be the control car. Fields to his outside. And caution flag back out into the air. On the binders, on the brakes, everybody hold up. Officials saying, no, we're not going yet.
Yeah, they aren't happy with the start, and that is their prerogative. If they do not like the start, they're going to throw it there. Again, I've never seen Joe in real life, but I think that was him making that call. So we'll see if that's the case. Green flag.
Caution flag flies again.
Still not happy, it doesn't look like. As I do see Daniel Passmore. We'll see what happened here, if this is part of it, in the number 8 machine. I'm not sure if they just didn't like it or if he slowed down too much. Oh, and yes, indeed, the 80 got into the back of the 8, spun him around before the start, and that is why they waved off of the restart. So we've had several incidents here twice in a row. We just can't get this race restarted.
No, it's been tough so far, but Trevor Fitz going to be still on your front row. And we're going to go one more time around. The pace truck did pull up. We're going to go one more time around to get the field stacked up together and ready to go green. So one more lap around. We go green flag racing next time by at the stripe.
And not sure if you mentioned it there. I totally kind of spaced that on myself. Single file. Obviously, that is the admin's call. These guys not being able to, we can't say what they're not being able to do. We'll say they're not being able to be friendly on the restarts. As the green flag finally does come out. And we'll see right now as Jacob Fields and Zane Yost hanging on to the top 3 positions, of course. Fitz out front. That 93 is getting awfully close to them tires, though.
And that he is. We see Jacob Fields back there in that second position. Zane Yost trying to rock that bottom side. He's got company from Tomasi up top. A slide job cutting off the front Nerf bar of the 09 machine. Now Tanner Tomasi down to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to try to slide up. Not going to clear. He had to take evasive maneuver. Look out, driver. He's got more company back behind him.
Yeah, Shad Prescott coming into the picture now as he is looking to get into the top 3. Again, remember, Tanner Tomasi had 3rd place before that caution came out. They didn't complete that lap. That pushed him back behind the 93 that it took him so long to clear, and that allowed Shad Prescott to catch back up to the front of this field as he is 15 spots to the good right now. Prescott is big time on the back bumper of that 09 machine of Tomasi. Tomasi holding him off for the moment, though.
And that he is so far. The 09 machine proving to be strong so far here tonight, as well as that 93 machine of Yost. Zane Yost trying to make his way up through the field. A potential battle for the lead starting to shape up as Jacob Fields and Trevor Fitz really close together, and Fitz has not been able to pull away from Fields yet.
No, he has not. It's the battle of D1RT, DRE, drivers out here, Fitz and Fields. Out front, Shad Prescott trying to make it 1, 2, 3 for D1RT. Again, no pun intended, but he's got Yost to deal with right now as they're starting to really tangle back in the back. We'll stay here with the front leaders, though, as that battle, like you said, is starting to heat up, and now it's getting a little bit spread out for the front 2.
Yeah, it's a little bit more spread out. Trevor Fitz staying consistent up on the high side of the racing surface. These guys going to be coming into some very, very thick and heavy lap traffic here shortly. A lot of the cars in front of them are battling 2 and 3 wide.
They are.
Caution
indeed.
flag flies, a wreck right in front of your leaders. I believe that may have been the 106 machine, and that it was.
Go back in.
That was the 105 Sheldon O'Burl going around with a little bit of help from behind him. Oh no, it was a car in front of him that got turned, I do believe, and slid up the racetrack, and he had to try to take a face-up maneuver and just couldn't quite make it happen. That was the 26 of Eric Scalf.
That is correct. Spun it out.
Again,
Oh,
man, that was that U tire again.
He got the tire again. Oh, if I had to pick a winner of this race here at this point,
it'd be the U tire.
I think I'm going with the tire because at this point, it's collected more cars than Victory Lane will. So I definitely am going to go with the tire for the win here tonight. We'll see. The pace truck comes out, though, once again. This is good news for someone like Shad Prescott in that 93 that may have another shot here. Meanwhile, it looks like Tanner Tomasi's been falling back a few spots throughout this. So bad news for him is that's going to allow this field to bunch back up and get right back on his bumper. He needs to get in the groove, get spread out, as right now Trevor Fitz really in a bad spot as he's going to have a lot of company here soon.
And that he will. Trevor Fitz going to be your control car once again. Now the car that he's got to worry about, Fields restarting his outside. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
A green flag is back out in the air, and Jacob Fields and Yost going to get by him. That is Zane.
Oh, they're stacking up. It's going to bring out a caution, I do believe. Caution flag is in the air. I saw about a 5, 6, 7 car pile up back there out of turn 2. The 181 involved of Cover. I believe that started just ahead of him with Dylan Wilson, maybe? No, that was... trying to see who started that. I believe it was
we know Charles Silvas was in it. Shane James, as I mentioned, just cannot
started with Matt Martin there getting turned from the 5 machine behind him and nearly up and over with the 181, but that was about 5 or 6 cars involved in that mess down out of turn 2.
Definitely not what these guys are wanting. Again, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast as the yellow flag has seen more action here than the green, unfortunately, these drivers don't want to see this at all. This is the last thing they want to see as we get ready to take the green one more time. And what a launch there for the 93. He almost beat the leader to the line.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have planned that better. He fired just as the leader fired. The leader hit the slick, and he managed to fire underneath them as he had to back off, I think, a little bit, so that way it didn't count as a jump start. But he's going to be trying to fight through on that low side. Again, that's Shane Zost down to the bottom, or Zane Yost, rather. Now he's got company from Jacob Fields. Fields going to pull the slide job and the crossover from the 93 down low. It's going to be a battle for second now. Almost up to the rear nerf bar was Fields that time.
Yeah, and sitting here, let's take a look here, zoomed out to the drone camera that's hovering over the track. As you can see your leaders right now on the track and almost catching it. Look how black this track has slicked off, Brandon. It is completely slicked off from top to bottom. These guys are basically just trying to find a drop of water on this track.
It is an absolute ice rink of a racetrack out here right now. These guys trying to hang on up against that loose stuff at the very high side of the racetrack. That's what's holding these cars in play without getting into the outside concrete. And these guys are doing a really good job of wheeling it. It's a very thin line, and if you step above or below that line, it could lead you into some serious trouble, especially with a whole field of race cars behind you.
It definitely could, and we see
Caution
there's
is
the
out.
caution out for Bryce Nichols, as we were just about to talk about another driver, and we'll see what happened here with the 64 machine, and I'm not sure, another tire.
Yeah, take a wild guess, and it would be a Uke tire claiming another driver once again. So another race car out of this thing, and tough break. He tried his very best to pull into the infield and not bring out a yellow, but a very tough break for Bryce Nichols there. The Uke tire claiming another one, and I think that tire is going to be the winner of this race, Charles.
You know, we try to refrain from being political or stuff like that on the channel here, but I think at this point I'm going to go Uke tire for president.
The OP of the racing world right now is that Uke tire.
Yes, that is my vote for the 2020.
Claiming the lives of racing chassis for years.
Yes, that is it. I'm pretty sure you can build a race car out of all the parts that they've collected over time. So that's my 2020 prediction. You know, especially if unfortunately the name that shall not be mentioned is still around and we can't get out to the polls. I'm just gonna throw the tire into the election ring. The green flag is back out once again. We'll see how long it does last. Lap 46 of 65.
Man. Zane Yost threw it in on the outside. It's going to be 4 wide for the race lead this time into turn 3, and they're going to hold it out of turn 4. Somehow they all drive away from it, and now here comes Fitz to the inside. More contact for the race lead. 3 wide battling for second now. Fitz falling back. That was a big-time carnage, almost pure mayhem for Trevor Fitz.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can pretty much promise you right now, especially right about now, Trevor Fitz is going to be throwing some fits.
Man, oh man, and that was almost bad again for Trevor Fitz, as he's fallen all the way back to that 4th position now. A little bit of contact with the 14 machine in front of him. That's Chad Prescott. He's trying to fight his way back, but right now it's going to be Shane Yost out front of this thing.
Yeah, and I'm watching right now Chad Prescott and Trevor Fitz. That's the 3rd time Trevor Fitz has, gave a shot in the shorts to Chad Prescott. Those two are teammates. Teammates or not, I don't know how well that's going to set with Chad and Prescott there. If your own teammates nearly hitting you sideways in the corners.
I think Trevor Fitz a little hot in the britches over that move for the lead, as he lost quite a few spots there, and he's just not able to gain that position back. He's heavy on the throttle. You can see that car moving a lot down the straightaway, so I think an unhappy driver behind the wheel of that race machine at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy. And you look right now, if you look at your top 5, it's Dylan Wilson, D1RT in 5th, Trevor Fitz in 4th, followed by
Battle
Chad
for the
Prescott,
lead, Charles.
And we go up to the lead, another D1RT driver, but Yost is going to take it from him.
Jacob Fields down on the low side. Zane Yost trying to build a crossover now. That was a big slide job, and here comes Chad Prescott trying to fight his way into the mix as well. 4 cars under a blanket for the top spot. It's going to be 93, 007, and 14. Going to be your top 3 as of right now. Yost makes contact with the outside concrete. Manages to hold that car straight. Fields nowhere to take the momentum quite yet.
Yeah, those right there battling your top 4, almost top 5, really are really close together, but that lead battle is heating up big times with Jacob Fields and Zane Yost. Fields going to almost try to send it, can't quite do it. He has to hit on the binders. That 93 of Zane Yost doing a good job holding off the 007 of Jacob Fields, but not any longer.
Fields with a big time slider, that time through turn 4 to the crossover from the 93. Now he's going to give it back to him. Yost pulling the slider. Fields with the crossover. Fields going to pull away with the advantage. It's going to be slide jump city once again, the 93 and the crossover.
And these guys are all over the place right now. And the quick update is Trevor Fitz is falling like a rock right now. Not sure what happened, but he is down to 6th position. But back to the front we go. That battle is anywhere but over.
anywhere but over 6 laps of racing to go. Fields with another slider, and the crossover for the 93 once again. Slider central here. Fields going to try to hold off again, and he's going to try to pull the crosser, try to make that bottom side work, and the slide job lane really coming into effect, and it's reeling the 2 cars back behind these guys in. Shad Prescott at the 14 trying to make something happen. That's Dylan Wilson. Where did he come from? Trying to make something happen for the lead.
Now what a battle. Dylan Wilson out of nowhere.
Oh man, contact. Contact up there for the lead, stacked everybody up. Now the 80 machine up and over, almost goes to 14. That'll bring out the caution. He'll stop up by in the pit road exit. Unbelievable. Shad Prescott, your front runner all night. His night is done.
Now let's take a look and see what happened, and I have a feeling this is teammate friendly fire right there. The 80 slides up. He is clear. Prescott has to get on the binders, can't quite get on him enough, and that is going to do it. So unfortunately, teammates racing each other, when you have 4 out of the 5 top spots, that tends to happen.
Absolutely it does, and Zane Yost and Jacob Fields, and I'm sure Dylan Wilson, gonna all have their hands full here on this restart. Is just a couple of laps to go, Charles, and these guys, it's all cards off the table. There's no friendships. These guys are all gonna be going for that one position up at the front.
Yeah, that is exactly where they're going, where the 93 is right now. They want what he has. You know, it's like a greedy little kid at Christmas. You want what the other kid has. And, well, they're going to go for it right now.
93 fires off. He diamonds the corner. A great restart for Zane Yost. Back behind him, Trevor Fields has some catch up to do, and Dylan Wilson trying to ride the bottom of the racetrack now. He's going to be in a side-by-side battle like a bullet out of a gun this time down the front straightaway. Fields with the momentum. He's going to try to dive it down low. Nowhere to go with it. He diamonds the corner off. It's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway. Yost defends the slide job. Not going to make it happen this time. Checker flag is in the air. Your race winner is going to be Zane Yost, 93.
As apparently he's going to celebrate by trying to repair the fence as he goes upside down and gets hit again. A wild ride there for the 93 after the race, but it doesn't matter. Once the checker flags wave, he gets the win here tonight.
He'll be wheeling that very destroyed race car back there down into the Fairbury Victory Square. As we're going to give you your race results here real quick before we go into commercial break. It's going to be Zane Yost, your race winner here of the night. Is a hard-fought battle between him and Jacob Fields. Fields coming home in second. Dylan Wilson tried to make something happen at the bottom. Could not make it happen. He's going to come home into that third position. Jared Murphy going to be coming home fourth. Fifth is going to be Tristan Carman. Chad Combs in sixth. Seventh going to go to Casey Brunson. Sandra Tomasi in that eighth position. Ninth, it's going to go to Matt Martin. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Jeremy Pitterling. Trevor Fitz in 11th. 12th, Chad Prescott. 13th is going to be Dion Cover. 14th, Richie Yost. 15th is going to be Charles Silvis, and the rest of the results will flash on your screen. What a hard-fought battle it was tonight, and 24 cars managed to start the racing action here tonight, the A-main event, as it was one that came out on top. Zane Yost, he's going to celebrate down in victory lane. We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the post-race show next, live on LSRTV. We'll be right back.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Welcome back, race fans, to LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Here with the World of Thunder, DirtFan.com, UMP Modifieds, as we bring you your Clan Wars server post-race show. Clan Wars server, the official communication partner of LSRTV. And I have caught up down here in Victory Lane with your race winner of the night, Zane Yost. And Zane, what an awesome drive you had tonight. You had to battle your way all the way up through the front of this thing, and you had to battle to hang on to that lead position. How are you feeling, man?
Pretty pumped up, actually. That was a really good race.
I'll tell you, that was a really good show up at the front of this thing. Slider City up there. What was going through your mind the last few laps of this thing?
I just be smooth as possible and not spin the tires. Ultimate respect goes out to Jacob Fields for keeping those sliders clean.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of keeping the wheels underneath you, talk about the conditions of the racetrack. How slick was it out there in the feature event?
The only way I can explain it is we were racing on ice.
And you were one of the few drivers to really make that bottom side work. How did the track progress here from the beginning of the race to the end? And how did you utilize the different racing lanes to get your way up towards the front?
I was just going where cars are, and honestly, it was to get to the bottom, you had to completely shut your car down, and luckily I made a good choice on gear, and it would pull off the corner pretty good. And once I got to the top, or once I got to second, I knew I had to time that restart pretty good. And by that time, it was to the top. So if I got to the top, I knew I would have had the lead.
You made it work, and the last few laps, high, wide, and handsome all the way around this Fairbury Speedway. Zane, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to for your performance here tonight?
Definitely got to give a shout out to Michael Clark for making the sexy skin I have on this thing. Definitely have to thank my brother for the setup help. If it wasn't for him, I would have been in left field. But definitely it was all my brother who did that tonight. I was just holding the steering wheel.
Well, awesome job, Zane. Thank you for talking with us. Race fans, your winner on the night at Fairbury Speedway, Zane Yost. So, race fans, that's about going to wrap up our coverage here tonight. Charles, what's some awesome racing we saw all around tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely some awesome racing. You never disappoint anytime you come here, especially with this amount of cards, this strength of field. Again, just never disappoints.
Absolutely, and a big shout out to DirtFan.com for sponsoring the UMP Modifieds here with World of Thunder, and big shout out to World of Thunder as well, and they put on some great racing week after week. And of course, a shout out to our channel sponsors, Sawblade.com, Run Lean, Clan Wars Server is the official communication partner of LSRTV, Fame Design and Media, look fast, feel famous, and East Coast Motorsports Media, the P1 news source for motorsports news and coverage on the East Coast. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight live on LSRTV. From Charles Moon behind the cameras and in the booth with me tonight, and myself, Brandon Cruz, we'd like to say good racing and good night, and we will see you next time.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.